Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build, and today we are going to be recreating this home that I have popped up on the screen for a single dad who has two sons. One is a child and the other is a toddler, and we are building in San Sequoia, I believe is where we are today, the world that came with The Sims 4 growing together. I really wanted to try this like double garage door situation, and I really enjoy these sort of double story ranch homes. They're very common in my area. I know they're very common in a lot of other areas as well. So figured to go a little bit realistic with this one. And I always enjoy recreating homes that I find on Pinterest. I'll try to link the actual artwork in the description box down below if I can find it, because I don't know if I actually saved the pin on my board or not. But anyway, we are going to get into the build here. We picked these windows that I think are from Discover University, if I am remembering correctly, and I just picked the all wood swatch. I think all the windows that I use on this house, besides the windows for the garage door, are from the same pack. So if I notice it later on when I'm placing them, I'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure they're from Discover University. And I also wanted to keep the same kind of like brick where the entryway is, where the door is, but I changed the color of the siding because I've already done a yellow home relatively recently and I didn't feel like doing it again. I wanted to try a different color, so this is what we ended up with. Of course, it's blue. There's so many blues in this game. It's just kind of hard to get away from it at this point. And then I also wanted to recreate these flower boxes that are in the front with like the brick around them. So I just used the little kind of corner room tool to make the basic shape, and then I fenced it all in the rest of the way. It took a little bit of fiddling and moving around, so I'm only going to show you a little bit of it. And because it has flooring underneath it, I couldn't use the terrain paint to create the dirt underneath the flower boxes. I used the actual floor tiles where like the miscellaneous selection is, and also some regular fieldstone in front of the front door so that it kind of sort of matches the vibe. And I also made sure to add some ceiling tiles so that we could have a trim and we could have some ceiling over top of where the front door is. And I love this big tree. I forget where it came from. I think it came with For Rent, but this kind of awkward, like stringy looking palm tree I thought looked really nice and kind of resembled the one in the image. And then I picked out some ferns and some bushes just to fill up these boxes. I do end up going back in like a lot later and filling in the rest, but for right now you're just going to see the front of the home's flower boxes. It just took me a very long time. Also sized down that lit up tree that I think also may have come with For Rent, because the other tree in the image is kind of small, but this one had lights on it, so I thought that was a lot more fun. And then of course I love these flower bushes, the roses and the black-eyed Susans that came with Cottage Living Debug and Live Edit, so I threw them in as well. And I tried to get some like ground cover and tall grasses to really fill up the space, as well as some tall foxglove plants that also came with Cottage Living, because I feel like it gives a little bit of depth. Some things are a little taller than others, and that kind of helps to blend it all together. I hope that you also agree. But again, I know this is very repetitive, so you're only going to see a little bit of it, and then we will get back to the rest of the build. But I was just kind of inspired to build a single dad's home because I've done a lot of like single mom's homes or small family homes recently, and I didn't think I had ever actually built a home specifically for a single dad. And I thought that the single dad for this household will be in the handy person career, which also came with For Rent, and he will also have like some woodworking tables and other things to fix in the garage, because those came with the Restoration Workshop kit. I almost called it Restoration Hardware. Restoration Workshop kit. And I thought that was fun. Like, he's just really into handiness. I think he's also into programming and video gaming. So he has a computer in his bedroom, which you'll see later on. And I think that he's pretty well rounded, and he wants to teach his sons like how to fix things and how to do the stereotypical manly stuff, obviously. And he also enjoys playing the video games with his sons when he has them. And you can also like do this when you're playing actual gameplay. You could like set stayovers for the Sims to have, you know, time with their sons and then they go back to their moms, or time with their dad and then they go visit their moms. Obviously you'd have to make those households. but you could technically play in that way if you wanted to. It would take probably a lot of coordination. I am not that invested when it comes to gameplay like that, but maybe in the future I will be. You'll see I talked through a lot of the floor planning, but we did make a little space for the bathroom. Over here we have kind of a long, skinny galley kitchen situation, and then it butts up to the living room. I pulled out the couch from Growing Together, and then I also used this cube organizer from the Comfy Gamer kit. That's Kayla's kit, and I put that here, and a matching armchair. There's a TV on top of the organizer, and then the lovely rug, one of my favorites from For Rent as well, because I just love those colors. And they match so many different things. There's so many swatches on that rug. You can really make it work in any room. So I thought that was a good place to start because I wasn't really sure what color scheme I was going for yet in here. I also pull out the dining table that came with Businesses and Hobbies and the matching chairs because they're just very neutral and nice and even. And in the bathroom, we pulled out the sink from Growing Together as well as the shower. And later on, I come in here and I clutter it up, but for right now we're just gonna get the basics down. So we have this wallpaper that came with Spa Day, and it's just like the big tiles as well as the new hexagonal tiles on the floor from a recent update, and the mirror from I forget which pack, and then also the standing organizer from Laundry Day. And then back over here in the kitchen, just kind of fixing up the orientation and the floor tiles because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with the cabinets and everything, but I knew that I wanted there to be specifically tile only in the kitchen. And then I picked this dark blue paint for the living room and the hallway and such. Upstairs, we do end up having a little tiny overhang to match the front as well. I wanted them to have a back patio space where they could all hang out and grill and maybe sit in the baby pool and, have a spot back there that's just for them because it kind of overlooks this big body of water. And I thought that was just nice to have available for your Sims and for gameplay so they could have family time outside. So I just continued the same blue siding back there. Up here is going to be the boys' room. They have bunk beds. So there's a toddler bed underneath the single bed and then just a desk. I end up putting a computer there in a little bit. But we have the end table with this adorable dog lamp that came with my first pet stuff. I don't normally use that pack, so it was nice to pull something from there. And then, of course, we have a toy box and a little dollhouse. There's just the tiny dresser from Tiny Living. Here's that computer going in very shortly, and also the little handheld kids game. I thought that was nice to have, especially for the toddler, although they would probably use the Wabbit tablet, but when they get older, they can use the other handheld. And then I just put some beige carpeting down because it just seemed easy and kind of on a budget kind of thing. And I love the grassy wallpaper that's from Base Game, so I put that in here. Some lamps going in, one on the desk and one on the dresser. And then in Dad's room, I kind of went a little bit more earthy, and I tried to brighten it up as much as I could, but it's pretty much based on the bed swatch that I used. I just tried to keep it really neutral and nice. Later on, I come in here and change some things up, but there is the dresser from Businesses and Hobbies, and then this rug that I think came with Growing Together, changing up the windows a little bit because I thought that upstairs looked a little silly with just one window upstairs. But on the other side of that roof gable, there's not really enough room to match the windows exactly. So I used another one from University instead in the same wood tone. And then there's just some simple artwork in Dad's room, as well as these curtains that I think came with, Dream Home Decorator. They came with Dream Home Decorator. I can't remember anything anymore. There's so many packs. But after a while, I will go back and change up his room because it wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. And I didn't have time during my first build session to really get it to where I wanted it to be. I hope that you understand what that means. First, we are going to start on the main event, which it really is the garage, because this is the thing that inspired me the most from the inspiration image. Even though it's very simple, I thought that it was really fun and really cool because now we actually have a lot of clutter and a lot of different paint options and flooring options so that you can have a garage that looks functional even though we don't have cars. Although I did add a Debug and Live Edit truck out in the driveway to make it look a little more believable. But we have all of these toolboxes that came with Restoration Workshop and also a functional woodworking table. We have some shelving, we have the decorative working table, and we have the red toolbox, looks like a snap-on box, and also the utility sink, and then some more of these countertop pieces. which still infuriate me because you can't place the appliances to repair on these countertops. They don't slot as countertops, which does not make any sense to me why they would be in the same pack, but we're not even going to worry about it because I do end up adding some regular base game counters so that you can put the like coffee maker and the microwave up on those and repair them. And then I also grabbed the fridge later on as well. We have the water heater that came with that same kit, as well as the electrical box over to the side near the door that goes into the house. And here's the fridge going in, and also a little standing fan because I thought it'd be nice to get some air circulation in there. And I'm pretty sure you can actually turn it on. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the fans you can turn on, or they're just on automatically. And then I thought I'd do this really funny thing with this cart or dolly that came with the Basement Treasures kit. So I kind of slid it under the fridge to make it look like he had used that to get it into the garage itself. And when I did playtest, my sim could repair that fridge just fine, even though the dolly's technically there. It's not in the way at all. You can still repair the fridge, which is very good. Also a stack of tires so that if you wanted to pull his car in and work on it in here, as much as I wish they actually could, at least it looks believable. I also wanted to put some stains on the floor and some scuffs, like from where he had been working on the vehicle. Maybe some stuff spilled or it leaked out of the vehicle, or maybe he dropped something and it spilled. I just thought it looked very realistic to have kind of like a stained concrete floor. And then these large shop lights that also came with the Restoration Workshop kit. And then I use these little shelf pieces that are actually from the Desert Luxe curtains, and I put them underneath and on top of the garage windows just to frame it in and make it look more like a garage. And then for the handles of the garage, I also use that same piece just in a darker color, and I sized them down a whole bunch with just the bracket keys. I put them on the inside and outside. And looking at it now, I see they were a little uneven between the inside and the outside. But we're not going to worry about that because I already have it saved to my library and ready for upload. So I'm not going to even bother. But we have the grill outside on the back patio, as you saw. And now we're working on the upper cabinets in the kitchen. It took me a while to figure out what I was going for, so bear with me for just a little bit. But I'm only going to show you a tiny little portion of it, and then I'll get to kind of the finished product of it, because I knew I wanted to add some tall cabinets and I just didn't know where. And that's when I decided I'm just going to widen the whole kitchen, add the tall side cabinet and an extra counter. So then I made the tile floor a little bit longer. So the kitchen is ever so slightly longer, but I think it works out. There's also an entryway table from Cats and Dogs, and I put a little light on there, some basic ceiling lights in all of the rooms. And then I pulled out this artwork from the Casanova Cave kit, and I put that in the living room. And I also pulled out the record player and put that by the stairs. Thought that was nice there. And then in the kitchen for the curtains, I just used the ones from, oh man, I forget what they're from. I think those are from Growing Together as well, and some base game curtains in the living room. It was very important to me that I just had curtains on every single window. I'm not 100% sure why. It's not always a priority, but I really enjoy curtains. I wish I had curtains. Right now I have shutters, and it just kind of drives me nuts. Like, I wish I had curtains. I know that they get dusty, but so do shutters. Trust me. So anyway, moving on. We have decorated the living room. We have the lamp that came with the newest update that came, like, it has like a bunch of like African swatches, African patterned swatches. Really enjoy that lamp. So I'm going to be using that quite a bit, I think. And then also I wanted to make sure that the living room felt lived in, and like there was kids that came here and played in the living room. So I threw in the activity table. It's the one that's like the cardboard box, like car with a backpack on it, and then this large stuffy, and I filled up this cube thing with a bunch of toys. Some things that I had to use the tool mod for, and some things I had to like size down and raise up with the tool mod, but I think it works out really nicely. I think it's very cute. My sim did try to constantly put the little toys away, which still drives me crazy, but we will not worry about that right now. I also used the new circular mirror from Adventure Awaits. I put that on the wall right there going up the stairs. I thought it was nice. And then I made sure to include the burglar alarm and the thermostat. And then over here on this table, I just wanted to add some clutter. So we have some like kids arts and crafts. some mail that Dad maybe brought in, and also a little tiny plant. And I had to adjust where they were for a while because they weren't quite in the same spot that I wanted them to be, but eventually it all worked out. Also a little coat rack from Grange Mudroom, just throwing that out there. I think that's the only item I may have used from Grange Mudroom. And then the rest of this little portion of the video is just kind of like finishing touches. I wanted to make these curtains a little bit bigger in the kitchen, wanted to make sure there were exterior lights. I wanted to make sure that there was some decorations on the counters for the kitchen, and those all came from Kitchen Clutter Kit. Also some cereal on top of the fridge. I just wanted it to look like kids live here. We have cereal and snacks and cookies. There's a lunchbox out for the kids so they can pack their lunches the night before. It's all ready to go. I think it looks super cute. And I also got to kind of play around with some shelving here on the wall. Those are from the Comfy Gamer Kit as well. And I've never used them in a kitchen, so I wanted to put some canisters and the little oven mitts on top of those. I think it came out really nice. And then some more cluttering over here. Lots of move objects and kind of like moving things around till they fit exactly how I wanted them on the shelves. And now we're back in the garage. I'm adding some like more scuffs and stains and sawdust to the floor just to kind of make it feel, organic. And then I also moved the stove over to make more room for the water heater. I didn't want gameplay to be impacted by that at all. Back upstairs though, we are going to place more curtains in the kids' room. These ones are just from Base Game. And I really enjoy that they're just like plain, but also colorful and fun. And then we have some posters going in as well, just to kind of decorate the walls. Also a height chart over here by the door, and another stuffy. I used this one, the little raccoon plushie that I think came with, what did that come with? That come with For Rent. I think that came with For Rent as well. No, that came with Businesses and Hobbies, didn't it? Because it's Trashly. That's right. That makes sense. And then over here in the hallway, we have more curtains and just a little bit more artwork. And I wanted to throw a bunch of plants in this upstairs hallway nook because it goes nowhere. And it didn't really make any sense to leave it empty to me. So just kind of place some plants in there to make it make a little bit more sense. Now we are going to be back outside in case there wasn't enough whiplash for you from upstairs, downstairs, and outside. We have the rest of the plants going in here. I'm pretty much just repeating everything from the front flower box that I started with, but we're going to place them in a way that it all blends together very nicely. And then the same in the back. Also really enjoy using the very tall bushes that I think came with Base Game. Those ones are Debug and Live Edit, the tall ones that I put like in the corner of the front. And then I also put another one, I believe, off to the side. I don't remember if I put one in the back or not. I'm pretty sure I did, but I can't remember. I really like those though. I use them in a lot of builds. I used to overuse them. I try not to overuse them now because I have expanded my horizons and I don't just use all the same plants all the time, although these are pretty much all my favorites. Also made sure to add a mailbox to the front of the house and also a trash can, more outside lights going in. And then we are going to be decorating the backyard just a little bit more in a second. First, we are going to go into the bathroom again because I wanted to throw in all of our clutter, all of our bathroom clutter. We have the soap pump, toothpaste cup, we have the razor, the electric razor on the back of the toilet, as well as a candle, the toilet paper roll on the wall, and some little bath essentials, and also a towel on the wall and the bath mat. And then I think I put the plunger in here. I couldn't remember if I did or not. And also a little shower caddy in the shower on the wall. And then I wanted to move everything over a little bit over here, the sink and mirror, to make room for this wall towel that came with Growing Together. I really enjoy that, but it always looks like it's kind of forced in there, if you know what I mean. It doesn't look like it really fits. So here we are going to add more towels to this decorative selection of towels and linens in the bathroom. I thought this was nice. I think this one either came with Eco Lifestyle or Laundry Day, and I'm not 100% sure which, so my apologies for that. But I think it looks really, really nice in here, especially with a little plant on top. And then we're going to go back to the kitchen. I wanted to add some soap behind the sink, and then we're going to jump back outside again with the whiplash. I wanted to make sure that there was a jungle gym for the kids to play on because there is a park kind of juxtaposed to this, and it's like just out of eyesight, and there is also like the water kind of splash pads over there, but I figured the kids would want their own space to play in without having to leave the lot, and also parents would prefer that, just saying. but had to throw that in there as well. Some more landscaping and just some big trees just to kind of fill it all up. I think that that makes a lot of sense. And then over here in the garage, I have changed my mind from this window and I've decided to go with the door instead that came with laundry day. So that way there's like a side entrance to the garage as well as from the house to the garage. Because you can't use the garage doors, it made sense for me that we would have a side entrance. Also added another flower box over here next to where the kiddie pool is, just behind the garage, because it looked empty and sad, and I kind of wanted every corner of this lot to be utilized to the best of its ability, if you know what I mean. And then I wanted to add more to the back patio space. So here we are adding a little kids table and some folding chairs, and I think some of them came with the little campers kit, and I don't remember if I have any other packs included in here. I also know I used some Perfect Patio and some, maybe the outdoor, what was the other one? Perfect Patio, and there was something else. But one of those outdoor packs I know I used a bunch of stuff from. And the picnic table, which is base game. The fan up on the pillar is from Lovestruck. And then I also throw in some garden tools and a little hose on the wall so that you could water plants if you had any plants. I did not put any flower boxes here, but if you wanted to, you could totally fit some. I did leave enough room on the lot if you wanted some flower pots or some garden planters somewhere along the lines. You could definitely fit those in, or get rid of some of the decorative bushes and put some regular plants in there as well. And then just adding our terrain paint and going all the way around the lot real quick to make sure it's blended in nicely. I even put some underneath the jungle gym to make it look like kids are running underneath there and playing. I thought that that was really cute, and the use of terrain paint goes a long way. So I hope that you agree. In a little bit, I think we're going to go back inside and finish up cluttering. I'm pretty sure I add more to the dad's room. We have a robe going on the wall and also the decorative laundry basket. And I got rid of this dresser because it was just too tall. I didn't like it. So I swapped it for this one from Cats and Dogs. And then I also used this big mirror from Seasons. We have a little tiny computer desk in here because, like I said, I think the dad likes to program and play games. So I wanted him to have his own little space where he could play some video games and do his programming. We have just some like simple pencil cup and also the light on the desk. And then over here on his dresser, we have some colognes and some magazines and a little watch. And then I believe I also put the phone and keys. And I also put a little selection of folded shirts on his dresser as well, that maybe he just hasn't gotten to putting it away yet. And another piece of artwork up on his wall. In the kids' room, we are also throwing in a little bit more clutter, like some more arts and crafts, and also some more little decorative things. I wanted to kind of hide these books that are on top of the desk. I thought that the pink and purple didn't really match what I was going for. So I just kind of sized that up with Tool Mod and moved it around till it covered those books. Added some more posters and swapped the rest of the posters around. And I also changed the swatch of the toddler bed because I wanted there to be a little bit more color in here and just a little wall decoration. And that is it for this build. So we have Dad here eating some grilled cheese with his oldest son, and then they're playing video games in the living room. It's very lively. It's very fun. I really enjoyed playtesting with this household. I actually played with them for a few days just because I was really enjoying it. So I hope that you also enjoyed it. And if you did, please be sure to like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you'd like to see anything else. Let me know if you'd like to see a single mom's home. Let me know if you'd like to see more apartments. Really anything and everything I'm open to trying, because I don't do a lot of apartments. I do a lot of small homes, but I don't do a lot of like tiny homes. I'd be open to trying things because I just need to expand my video catalog. Finishing up the live mode footage here with the kids playing in the living room, and then Dad helping with some homework while the toddler takes a nap on the couch. I think that's just so fun. So thank you so much for joining me here today. Here is the home finished up. It is fall, so I apologize that like all the bushes are brown and dead, but I really appreciate you stopping by here today. It is up on the gallery now. Again, please be sure to like and subscribe and comment what you'd like to see next time, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.